horribly cold this morning. So, too cold to really move or do anything, but not cold enough to really want to have a jacket. I mean, yeah, if I'd have put a jacket on, then I'd have started sweating, and I didn't want that, so I figured do something here where I got heat coming on me, and I'm working and exercising. So, I'm running this beast. The belt just popped off when I hit a particularly stiff, hard to split log. What's going on is the belt is a little bit ragged out. The other engine was crooked on me. Not this engine, but the other engine was crooked on me, and it sort of ragged out my belt a little. And so the belt isn't in the best of condition in the first place. And what's going on now is it looks to me like everything's straight as I can get it. But the belt is stretched a little, which is normal with time. A belt is going to stretch out a little, at least in my experience. And there's no tension on it. So I have an idler pulley that I found, and I'm going to rig up a tensioner, but we don't have a bolt long enough to go through the idler pulley and a piece of wood that I can mount on here. So, and I don't feel like going to town just for a bolt. So anyway, I'm running this as much as I can. It ran for a while. I split 2 wheelbarrow loads full of wood until I had a log. Well, the log did split. But anyway, now I'm warmed up. The weather's getting warmer. I guess I can move on to something else. But I'm using the technique you guys showed me. YouTubers have told me put a log on, put another on, and just keep feeding wood through. And it's working very well for me. So I'm pleased with that. I've got an old battery here that started the motor, and then the motor's charging it, and that'll keep that in shape. I can charge batteries while I split wood, and that is a really good thing. That's really cool. This has a voltage regulator on it. It's probably not a high-end type of a thing. It's a voltage regulator, so it's not a battery monitoring system like your high-end solar charge controller like we have in the house. But it will charge your batteries and maintain them at the right voltage. That's a good thing. Now, it's not high current either, but gentle charge is okay for something like this for long-term use. Anyway, Chris is stacking wood over here. I'll take you over and show you what's going on. I know we're going to continue house cleanup, property cleanup. Today we work around the side of the house, and then I've got some plumbing issues that I want to work on and improve around here. Morning, Chris.
Good morning.
So how are we looking over here in the wood pile?
Looking good.
Got a pretty decent amount of wood here, stacking up all the way to the fence line. 2 rows. So I should have put the pallets out, the fence angles in a little bit, and in retrospect I just slid the pallets out a little so we could get 3 full rows, but that didn't work out now. We have to move out and process all of this wood so that Chris can continue on stacking.
Yep.
So I may even pop that belt back on and start processing this. A lot of those are smaller and can go right in the curing shed. So we might be able to pop these out in a short time.
Yeah.
You might want to bring me over a wheelbarrow of these, Chris, and I'll get the belt back on there, and maybe we can work these out of here. What do you think?
Yeah.
Then we have the wood pile over here. Guys, it looks like the sun is starting to get on the solar panel, so I'm going to take you over there. So here's what we have, everybody. The one tree is in my way at this morning hour. It's 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. Just one tree is blocking us from full sunlight on both sets of solar panels. Now, I haven't had sunlight out here till 2 in the afternoon, 1 or 2 in the afternoon, throughout the entire summer. So we are looking better. I do have sketchy sunlight on those solar panels on both sets, which I never had. So once that sun clears that tree in about a half hour or so, we'll have maximum sunlight all the way through the rest of the afternoon. The problem is the sun is sinking lower in the sky, and it's going to start going behind these trees, which we are also going to take out with time. So we're sort of racing against time to keep up with the sun moving as it goes across the sky and lowers down below these trees. So But the morning hours, these two, actually that's 2 trees, have to come out, and then this one over here, to get the early morning hour sunlight, and then we'll have really good charging. So let's go on inside and see what they look like. I think that's what Chris is doing now, and we'll see what kind of current we have with sketchy sunlight. Alright guys, we have, there's a glare, 37, it was 38 a minute ago, watts. We've got 3 amps, and the Renogy is pulling in 3 amps. So we've got about 80 watts coming in, which is pitiful for 1200 watts of solar panels. But again, we wouldn't have even had this much a while ago. So we're looking way better now. Yep. Hi guys, I've pulled out the tank out of the back, out of the watershed. This is a tank from over in the side. That was our gray water tank, which has long been empty. I found a pallet that was like it was made for this. Now I've measured the platform that the one with the frame sits on, and there's a indentation, a cutout for the valve, so that it can hang lower. This hangs a little bit lower here. And this pallet was like it was made for the job. So I'm gonna trim this out right here, probably these 2 pieces. Well, I'll have a look at how deep I have to go, because there's a curve down here. So I might block your view. Now, look at that, guys. Now this, let's sit down in here. Happy as anything. Look at that. Now I've got to check. Oh, there's a drop right there. Oh, how perfect. How perfect. There's a little bit of a lip that drops down. And that's what's been causing me trouble all this time with these on pallets. The reason that they collapse around this area is there's pressure on the valve. The valve sits down lower. So for this is gonna sit forward. This is almost perfect, guys. That pallet is like it was made for this system. Look at that. So I'm gonna put the pallet in, and then I'll get a clean water tank. I dragged out a water tank. By the way, that water tank is from inside the shed. That was my first ones before I brought in the big totes. I was running off a couple of these, if you remember, last winter. I just have it sitting upside down to drain. And now, like I said, this was the gray water, not gray water, it's filtered kitchen water. That wasn't even gray water, it was filtered. Actually, there was some little bit left in there and it looked clean and pure as anything. But anyway, that's perfect. So I've got another tote that's clean, has no junk in it, and I'm going to bleach and wash out and put into the shed, because this one I don't want to trust because of what I had in it. Although I filtered it, I still don't want to use it for household water. And it looks like we're going to have some good plumbing today here. Hey guys, I got a garden hose. Off-grid is getting comfortable. Not a lot of pressure though. A little bit leaky. Cheap dollar store hose attachment. There we go.
got some bleached water in here, and I want to get all the filth out of here. Which isn't much, it's just some algae, little bits of algae. This is a very clean tank. I chose one of the cleanest out there for this job. Just the tiniest little traces of algae. And then I'll let the bleach do its work a little bit in there for a little while. Clean that up. I also want to make sure that there's nothing missed. Good. Looking good.
Hi guys, it's done. Finally. 550 gallons of water in the off-grid tiny house on wheels, plumbed together. Obviously one tank is empty. I am letting the PVC cement cure before I open this valve. When I open up this valve here, water from this tank is going to flood through the pipes into this tank until the two are equalized in height. But I'm also going to add some bleach to this tank because there's some algae has grown because of the sunlight that was available through the open doorway of the shed all this time. I'm going to hang a tarp up over the entrance here until I hang a door, which will be soon. Will have to be soon. The tarp will have to block light from entering here. Anyway, there it is. We have 550 gallons of water capacity plumbed into, connected to the tiny house on wheels. So all I got to do is open that valve and the pressure equalizes between the two tanks. But this tank is clean and spotless, and so I'm not ready to do that until I've bleached this and let it sit for a while. And then I'll run the truck down to the creek and get some more water if I have to, because we're down to 100 gallons total capacity here for the tiny house, and that's not that much at all. So tonight we'll pick up some bleach in town. This is Wednesday and I've only got a couple hours left to work, and in town we'll pick up some bleach on the way home, and that'll do it. Looking good. They're both at the same level, the same height. I've got them both plumbed up with the gator locks, and I like it. I'm feeling good. There we go. Now I've cleaned out this corner over here, and we're gonna have a battery charging station. I've got to figure something out with this hose that comes on down and around. I think I'm gonna run it down underneath and then up through here and probably shorten it. It can be shortened greatly now that I have it properly hooked up. I had a longer hose and I didn't ever cut it because I didn't have this finished, but now I do. So I'll drop that straight on down here and then run it under into here, and then it'll be somewhat out of my way to work on the batteries over in the corner. But I've got to build a deck here, a raised deck with blocks that'll take the weight off in the back side, so there's no pressure on the tongue and on the wood that'll be overhanging here. And then I'll hook up another solar panel and a charge controller, but that's all another project for another day. Just thinking out loud. Anyway, talk to you guys later. see what comes next. I'm gonna take a little break. Oh, I didn't look.
Second row's almost done, and the third row's not too far behind it.
All right.
This pile here is about as high as the tree stump.
Right, say it again.
So this pile here was a little higher than that tree stump and a little wider.
All right, he's been working. Chris has been cutting all this up. There is a certain particular person on YouTube saying that nothing gets disposed of around here, goes off the property. It just gets moved from one place to another. But that's not true. We're consuming this stuff.
Yep.
We are consuming this, actually. This becomes BTUs. Heat.
Yep.
Heat for the tiny house, and soon heat for the shed. This is BTUs, guys. We consume it. I'll show you what Chris has been doing then. By the way, this little pile is the last of the pallet wood. Those piles that we had over here that I showed you that were gone the other day have been broken up, cut up, and now Chris is making them into firewood. So that's BTUs. And here, guys, that's actually a camping bag full of wood. We take wood for cooking and campfires in that little bag. Melanie and I try to get out once a week now. This is the small bits and pieces, which, by the way, this is the pile that I took from to heat the tiny house on wheels the other day when it was so cold. This little stuff, as it dries, the cured stuff, is perfect. Tosses right in the wood stove and keeps you nice and cozy. Chris is filling this up. Look at that. There's 3 rows all the way to the ceiling. There's 1 row. Here there's 3 rows, 1 to the ceiling. Now this is quick grab, gonna be quickly cured firewood for the tiny house on wheels. It's actually, Chris changed the way he's stacking the wood from right to left, and that's actually a good idea. I never considered that because that's a quick grab. Chris was smart in doing that, and doesn't change a thing because that's already there. Doesn't hurt, and that's very wise of Chris to switch his way of stacking the wood right to left. That way, we don't have to have a space to reach through. We can just walk up to it and grab whatever we need. Now, all the little branches and all the stuff that was I considered small enough to throw directly in the wood stove, it doesn't need to be split, goes in here. Wood that is already cured and ready to burn goes in here. And then stuff that I feel, like the small twigs and stuff, that I feel it'll be cured by December. So we're working from the back to the front. So the back gets the wood that needs time to cure and will be cured by winter. Most likely the stuff will be burnable by dead of winter, if I ever get to that this winter. And the stuff towards the front will be fallen dead or standing dead trees, which we're going to drop here soon. There's some dead standing trees which I'll be dropping and curing in the sunlight to just to dry it. The stuff is cured, just needs drying. So right now Chris and I have been splitting and cutting wood to get even that out of the way to make the homestead look even nicer.